Is it true that queen bee stings are more dangerous? There is not a single person who has not been. It is not a good feeling to be stung by a bee. It is a pleasant sensation, but bees aren't. You are most likely an angry creature. Just frighten a kid. These insects are extremely beneficial to the environment. One of the reasons for their existence is pollination. The main reasons why our plants continue to grow. Growing bees sting only when they are irritated. If you are stung, you are in danger. Imply that you have approached them too closely or, more importantly, the fact that you have arrived. Close proximity to their hive. Each hive has a capacity of 50,000 to 80,000 bees. Thousands of honeybees, just like us humans, do everything they can to keep their home safe, yet, instead of alerts and convoluted procedures, they employ their stingers and security systems to keep foes at bay. When honeybees sting, they emit a substance called venom. Pheromones are chemical compounds that have an impact on the body. Animal behavior in the same species. If a bee stings you, the pheromones are released, are likely to agitate all bees in the area. That is one, and they will soon join in. You will want to avoid this conference at all costs. It is a fun fact, only female bees exist that has the ability to sting larger male drone bees. This is due to the fact that they lack stingers. The stinger is just an egg that has been modified. Gadget for depositing eggs. Queen bees have stingers as well. These bees are significantly larger than the average. The queen's average size is that of a worker. It is about twice the size at little about 1 inch. Size of a typical worker bee. Many people are attracted to it because of its size. Believe the sting of the queen bee is painful the most, so let us get started with that. Because of this, queen bees rarely sting. The queen's function in the hive is to, as the colony's most important bee, the only female who is capable of reproducing. In the hive, the queen has two primary responsibilities. First and foremost, she creates chemical odors that aid in the unification of the rest of the bees. Number 2, they are able to collaborate. Lays a large number of eggs, up to 2,000 per day. Worker bees encircle the queen bee, who are always there to meet her needs. Bee attendant staff serve her meals. Also collect and then disseminate the pheromones of the queen, which stop the preventing workers from locating a new queen. Despite the fact that he is the hive's leader, and the fact that they are much larger than other bees, the sting of the queen is actually the least powerful. This is due to the fact that normal bees are painful. This means that they have barbed stingers. The stinger gets stuck when they attack. It is difficult because you have a lot of bacteria in your skin to get rid of. The stinger also contains venomous toxins. That is what is packed with proteins. Causes pain and has an impact on your immune system. The stinger system and skin cells keeps injecting venom into your body for at least 10 minutes or until is taken away. Queen bees, on the other hand, unlike workers, depart the hive. Hive's main job is extremely rarely to lay eggs, and the rest is up to you, the colony, to safeguard the hive and the queen. That is why worker bees are referred to as queen bees. Those with the most venomous sting. This is how they can keep potential threats at bay. The only reason the queen would do so is because of the dangers. She has a strong need to defend herself. Rival kings? As a result, the queen has no need to. Instead of developing a venomous stinger, hers is. This means that the barbs are much smoother. Avoid becoming entrapped in your own skin, as this can be harmful. Be extremely uneasy while this is going on. It does sound good, but it does come with a bit of a catch. Because of the smoothness of the queen's stinger can stab you several times. The stinger is connected to the bee's abdomen. All of the nerves and muscles in the gut tract, which are necessary for the bee's survival. When workers sting, everything get back to normal. They cannot get their stinger out of their body as a result of the barbs, and when they attempt, it does not go well for them when they try to get free. The queen stinger, on the other hand, does not become stuck. That is why the bee is not bothered. Despite the negative consequences, she will continue to do so. Basically, sting you only if she does not sting you. One of her bodyguards should be nearby. Is extremely unlikely. So, where is the worst place to get stung by a wasp? A bee named Michael Smith made the decision to discover that he had been stung by 25 different bees. Body parts and ranked each prick on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, how painful is it? He discovered that the most sensitive area was the nostrils came in second with a 9 out of 10 rating. By the upper lip, which he reckoned to be the 3 least painful locations, received an 8.7. Were the middle toe tip and upper skull. All of these received a 2.3. Returning to the queen, how does a? This title is given to regular bees. The queen bee does not need to be replaced very often. She has a 5-year life expectancy. A worker bee is born at the same time. Summer is usually only around for a few months. 6 weeks, but if the queen dies, it could be longer. The colony either moves away or to another hive. Needs to be replaced. This necessitates the use of a tool known as nurse bees. Produce royal jelly in their hives. They feed it to newlyweds with their heads. It is basically hatched honeybee larvae. A superfood with a lot of nutrients. Vitamin B is one of the things that is useful. Carbohydrates, hormones, and proteins. After 3 days of feeding young bees, only a few larvae are chosen by the workers, continuing to provide them with royal jelly. Others will eat a diet that is less nutritious. New phases of development are triggered by royal jelly. For the growth of these developing bees, and growing is one of the most important. They require special organs in order to lay eggs. However, many people continue to be perplexed. How does this procedure work? Some scientists argue that it is not the case. It is royal jelly that causes a bee to sting, transform into a queen. They believe it is due to the exclusion of others. Natural chemicals derived from plants. Even though we are not on the queen's diet, I am 100% certain how these unique bees appear. We know why there is only one queen in the kingdom. When the first queen emerges at the end, she looks for any more bees that have been stung. She was given the same royal jelly, and then, if several competitors are involved, the competition is eliminated. When it is time for queens to emerge, it is time for them to do so. They will be hungry if you do not get your popcorn. Games it out in a tense battle until only one bee survives, and this is how bees reproduce their monarchy. Other bees in the hive have it as well. Foraging is one of the most important jobs. For the purpose of feeding and caring for young larvae. Constructing a honeycomb. Drones, or male bees, have only one type of hive. They have a job where they mate with the queen, and when they do not try to mate, they eat from each other. Honey reserves and pretty much anything else. Nothing. Female bees, often known as worker bees, are in charge of everything. Otherwise, they take care of keeping the hive clean. Larvae tend to the queen's honey storage, construct cells, forage and protect the nest, pollinate and even feed each other's male bees. Bee understands exactly what she needs to do. Because their hormones are activated. Parts of their genetic makeup that tell us what they are like. They need to know what has to be done and when it needs to be done. Must be completed. In their lifetime, bees go through 4 stages of work. The first phase of a person's life begins around the age of 3. That is when they are born. A few weeks after they are born, they start cleaning the cells from the inside out. 3 days later, they have reappeared. In this phase, they move on to phase 2. They are in charge of providing food for other bees. This lasts about a week, after which they move further away as phase 3 begins. From the hive's heart and become useful. They assist in the construction of the honeycomb and, during this time, keep an eye on the hive's entrance. After that, it lasts for about a week. They are now in the 4th and final phase of their journey. The stage of foraging. It is without a doubt the most dangerous part. This is the story of our stripy friends' lives. Look for them when they leave the nest. Pollen carries it back to the colony and feeds it. They also leave a stench behind. The flowers they come into contact with while collecting. Pollen, 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 poll. If there be relatives were present, or if it has been a strange experience, they occasionally discover their own footprints. Unbelievable. However, this stage does not last long. It only lasts around 10 days since it attracts bees. After such a brief existence, I am exhausted. Where worker bees never stop working, then leave the hive, never to be seen again. If a worker dies at the same time, special undertaker bees live in the hive, carried as bee out, but do so while the bees are alive. Despite the fact that it appears to be brief, this pattern appears to be. It is working out nicely for the species. They have been around for a long time, after all. 130 million years and still counting.